Thoughts on Death and Life. William Ernest Hocking. Preface. These brief meditations on great themes make no pretense to be adequate. They are serious in intent and, I believe, pertinent to the present stage of thinking about the meaning of human life and its destiny. But it will not require an experienced eye to see signs of unfinishedness. They retain much of the character of the conversations and of the two lectures out of which they arose, the Ingersoll lecture given at Harvard University on April 21, 1936, and the Thomas lecture given at the University of Chicago on May 14, 1936. For the sake of clarity, I have expanded the text somewhat beyond that of the lectures as delivered. I have not attempted to avoid a few repetitions. They too may add something to clarity and will at least register the truth that the meaning of life and the meaning of death are inseparable. If the brevity of the book requires justification, it is in substance the same as that of the spoken words on which it is based. They were addressed to actual questions, and an actual question may remain as effectively unanswered if it is replied to at theoretically ample length as if the response is delayed until it can be perfect. If one is asked abruptly, "What do you now think about death?" or of the immortality of man, or of the total sense of human life, assuredly one's first impulse is silence. Nevertheless, there may be that in the temper or need out of which the demand comes to cancel that impulse and require an offering of the state of one's reasonings at the moment. One need not profess finality, he must acknowledge the darkness which borders the edge of his exploring range, and also invades it. But there exist current errors which can be rectified. And there are dogmatic, seeming scientific negations which are at least as footless as dogmatic affirmations and whose vulnerability it may be at this moment even more imperative to expose. There are no concerns which more pervasively affect human happiness and sanity, both at the conscious and at the subconscious level, than these issues with which we are here dealing. My aim is to remove some of the needless obstacles to a just judgment. William Ernest Hocking. Cambridge, Massachusetts. January 7, 1937. Meanings of Death. Prologue. The problem of the survival of death by human persons is an empirical problem for which we have no empirical evidence. It is a question of fact, and of fact in time, for which there are no antecedent probabilities one way or the other. Human survival is neither probable nor improbable, because we have to approach it through those same questions of world order which include the basis of probability. As a philosophical problem, it is a secondary chapter, a corollary of other views, such as the structure of the world, the existence of a God interested in persons, freedom, the relation of mind and body. It is a last chapter, or perhaps an appendix, of the usual system of metaphysics. Hence it is a theme in which many people have lost interest because they have taken their answer yes or no, with their general worldview. It is settled in the affirmative or, more frequently today, in the negative by what they otherwise believe. It is no longer a question, and if it were, not a separate question. The function of this discussion is not to prove immortality, nor to disprove it. It is to shake ourselves out of sophistication about it, to disturb customary attitudes in an effort to see afresh the nature of the question, to estimate its importance or unimportance, to get once more its original impact on the mind of the self-conscious creature, in the hope of arriving at a clearer total perception of what is significant and what is possible. I propose that we approach the problem from the obverse side, by way of the meanings of death.